What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is Kevin with Optimize Essentials, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you the top 3 worst exercises you can do for your abs, because if you're trying to train your core and you're doing these 3 exercises, you're wasting your time, because these exercises are often done incorrectly, and even when they're done somewhat correctly, they can wreak havoc on your posture. Game of Thrones, anyone? And these exercises I'm sure you'll see everywhere you go. So without further ado, let's get right into it. The very first exercise that is horrible for your abs is going to be your plain good old crunch, all right? Now, a lot of people, when you go to the gym, you'll see them just go into the floor and they're just banging away at the crunches, right? They're just pulling their head forward and going at it and going at it. When you do crunches this way, what you're doing is you're training a faulty motor pattern, all right? So I want you to think about, in terms of posture, what you're doing when you're training this motion. What are you training? All right, you're training yourself to be strong and good at flexing your head forward and closing your rib cage. Now, if you didn't know, if you haven't watched my other video about why crunches destroy your posture, you want to go check that out, because I go into a little bit more in depth. But basically, this motion, when you stay stuck in this motion, this posture is technically called the forward head, the hunchback, the rounded shoulder position that we all know about, the nerd neck, text neck. When you're using whatever, okay, so form follows function, all right? Basically, what you do over and over and over again, what you train your body to do, you'll eventually get stuck in that position. So if you're not training for posture, then chances are you're training for poor posture. You have that hunched forward position. And in the gym, a lot of people, when they do crunches, not only do they do it incorrectly, but they do it where they're just using mostly their neck and they're shortening the rib cage if they're lifting themselves off, and they're just going at it. In order to do the crunch the right way, although I don't recommend doing crunches that often, is when you do your crunches, you want to make sure you're engaging your abs and you're keeping your chin and your neck neutral, okay? You don't want to tuck your head and pull forward. You want to focus on the upper abdominals, and then you want to lift off with your abdominals and the rest of your upper thorax. Otherwise, you're just going to be training your neck out of proportion to the rest of your body. And then once you have really tight neck flexors, you're going to have forward head posture. So you do not want to do this. Now, with that being said, the second exercise that is the worst for your abs is going to be very similar to the crunch, and that is the lying crunch machine, all right? Now, again, if you go to any gym that has this equipment, you'll see a lot of people going, like a jackrabbit, banging away, just bobbing and bobbing and bobbing. But if you look at them, their stomach, none of them really have abs, because people who have abs understand that these exercises, the ab machine, they don't do jack shit, because unless you do them correctly, which I'll show you how, but it's the same concept. When you're using your arms and your head is kept in that position and you're just pushing yourself forward and you're hitting a lot of reps, you're training your body to be in that flex forward, hunched forward head posture position. Same exact mechanics. So if you want to do this exercise correctly, there's different ways you can approach it, all right? Although I don't recommend going at it that often, I still, I'll show you how to do it correctly if you decide to use this, okay? So what you can do is you can slide up on the machine a little bit more so that your head isn't taking most of the flexion, but rather it's the upper half of your torso. So once you're in that position, when you press down and you lift yourself up, you want to focus on the upper abdominals, the serratus anterior area. You want to crunch there and then control yourself back, all right? You want to crunch forward and control yourself back. And then also some ways you can engage your abs in this machine, or engage other areas of your abs, is you can lift your feet off of the machine and angle it a little bit so that you're engaging your lower abs, and you're doing the same concept. You're crunching forward and controlling down, crunching forward, controlling down. Another way that I've seen someone do it, which is pretty cool, I had to give it a try myself, was she was doing bicycles, like a bicycle crunch, as she was doing this. So a way you can do this is you implement the same concept where you crunch forward and you shuffle your legs as you're crunching forward, so that you're getting lower ab engagement and also upper ab engagement. So pretty much you're toting the whole abdominal wall when you're doing this exercise. And this is a good way you can do it. But the reason why you don't want to do crunches on these machines is because in order to perform a crunch properly, you want to make sure you're getting full extension of your spine and then flexion of your spine. So you're not just neutral to flexion, neutral to flexion, neutral to flexion, because most people in today's society aren't exactly in neutral. They're already in a flex forward position. So if you're training the abdominals from a flex forward position, already hunched forward, and you're training it more forward, you're just creating more of the same dysfunction, all right? That's why when you want to improve your posture, you want to focus more on things that keep you erect. You want things that open you up, things that cause you to go into extension, external rotation, an expansive movement where you're opening up and standing tall as opposed to shortening and getting short. Most people are rather flex forward, meaning more in the fetal position than they are in this expansive position. So that is one of the key things that you want to think about. And then finally, the last exercise that I'm going to say is also horrible for your posture and is the worst ab exercise, unless you do it correctly, is, as you can probably guess, another crunch movement. It is the seated crunch. All right. Now, a lot of people, depending on who it is, who you're talking to, will say this is a good ab exercise or it's not. It can be good if you do it the way I'm about to show you, because again, it's the same concept. I'm sure you get the idea. If you're seated, right, most of us are already sitting, and a lot of us already hunched forward. So if you're just pulling yourself down, you're basically doing the same thing as you are laying down and the crunch. This is the same concept through all of them. The same theme is you're crunching forward and you're shortening your upper abdominals more, and you're creating more neck tension, you're creating more forward head posture, and you're just building in that poor motor pattern, all right? So with this exercise, in order to do it correctly, you want to make sure you're getting full extension by first getting onto the machine and sticking your chest out, arching your back, really getting thoracic extension, and then allowing your upper body to control your way down. You want to focus on the upper abdominals, the serratus anterior area. You want to focus on crunching that body part as opposed to using your neck, leading with your neck and pulling your head down. You want to use that area to crunch your body in, and then inhale. Open yourself not just to here, but all the way back and then coming back. That's how you properly train your upper abdominals, all right? There are many different, better ways you can do crunches, and I'm going to make at least more videos that you can watch on a better way to do crunches and ultimately the best crunch or the best ab machine that you can do. Because out of all the ab machines that I've tried, there's one that really stands out to me, and that's the one that where your legs and your upper body move at the same time. But for that one, you have to do it correctly. And I don't want to go into this video, so you want to make sure you check that video out. When it's out, it's the best ab machine that you can do, and I'll share with you the concepts behind how to do that machine correctly and get the most out of that core engagement. Get the most out of that machine, all right? So, guys, I hope you got the message. The take-home message for all three of these exercises is that not necessarily that crunches are bad, but crunches, when done incorrectly, and often are done incorrectly, are the worst ab exercises you can do, just because of the way it conditions your body, conditions your posture. And there's other crunches that you can do, like on a Swiss ball, that could potentially make the crunches a much better option, all right? So again, guys, it's Kevin with Optimize Essentials. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Share this video with a friend or family who all they do is crunches but still has a belly. And in the future, I do plan on having a program called Flat Ab Solution, where I share with you my secrets to staying lean and getting a nice chiseled abdominal cavity, abdominal wall. So stay tuned for that. And yes, drop some comments down below if you have any more questions or you want to share your thoughts. And you have a wonderful day. Peace.